What's up, everybody? Evan here, joining you once again from beautiful Melbourne. I've decided to stand up for this video to demonstrate a point. I just finished playing about 12, 15-hour session. It's a Sunday, so you know, gotta put in those hours. And by the end of it, I felt absolutely terrible. And the reason why is that out here in Australia, I don't have my desk, I don't have my chair, I don't have my proper setup. So rather than, you know, sitting in a nice, comfortable position, like I usually do when I play, you know, I'm on a couch, kind of like hunched over with the laptop, like this. And it's really not conducive to good play. So a lot of you guys who are playing long sessions, long hours, and I want to share this idea of posture being power with you so that A, you can play better, B, you can feel better, and C, so you can have more longevity in the game. So even if you think that poker is just a game, you know, it's just a mind game, I want you to consider for a moment that poker, with the long hours that it requires and the fact that you do need to use your body for it, is a sport. And if you think about the fact that you're constantly going into battle when you're playing poker, you are kind of a mental warrior. So yeah, you're not a real warrior like chucking spears and battling with swords and stuff, but you are constantly getting into confrontations, and you need to be ready for those confrontations. And think about it, when two fighters square off, you know, are they like this? You know, what we call a kyphotic posture? No, because you can't, you know, get any range. Everything's kind of blocked up when you're in this position. It doesn't flow very well. So like, you know, a real fighter is going to be like this, ready to go. Everything, you know, is connected, everything is in line, everything is flowing better. And even if you don't consider poker to be a sport, that's okay. You can ignore that idea, but still experience benefit from just, you know, taking the advice that I give you in this video. The reason why posture is power is because the better your posture is, you know, the more straight you can stand, the better the flow of oxygen will be to the brain and to the muscles, the muscular system. So, you know, it's going to get to your hands better, your legs better, but most importantly, having good posture helps the blood flow to your brain better, and oxygen that goes with the blood, oxygen that goes to your brain is kind of your processing power. The more oxygen you have, the more processing power you have. The more oxygen you have, the more energy you have. So when you have a tough decision, the most useful, beneficial thing that you can have is oxygen. That's why I told you guys in the last video the exercise of taking deep breaths when you're feeling tilted, when things are starting to get out of whack. Get some oxygen, resets the system, makes everything better. So by setting things up so you can get more oxygen going to the brain and more nutrients going throughout the system, you will not only play better because you're just thinking more clearly, you're not fogged up, you're not blocked up, but you'll be able to play longer because you'll have more energy. One of the reasons we get so fogged up, that tension buildup I talked about last video, is it blocks off the ability for blood and oxygen to flow smoothly. So when you're not getting that smooth flow of oxygen to the brain, you are getting foggy, you are getting backed up, and you get that, you know, brain freeze. So, just talking a little bit more about posture, because I experienced a lot of issues with the poor posture that came from playing long sessions in a bad chair with a bad desk setup. And after playing this session today, I had to go do like 2 hours of yoga just to stretch my body out, because otherwise I'd be in so much pain from my back being tight from just sitting in this shitty position all day. Young guys are not going to be as affected by having like sitting in a bad position. Like, you'll be able to sit on a couch all day. I know, like, a lot of guys will grind like in the recliner with their laptop and like a pillow and just click away, and like it's all good. You won't feel the pain as much when you're young because your body's more malleable. But your body, over time, molds to the demands that you put on it. So, if you are sitting in this position all day, these muscles are going to get shorter, and these ones are going to get tighter, which will eventually leave you like this, getting a hunchback. Not cool, not attractive, not functional. Whereas if you practice good posture, boom, your body will adjust. You won't get these extra muscles kicking in to try to be like, oh, this is the position we're going to take all day with our head forward, let's adjust. No, it's going to say, this is the position we're in, okay, we'll get the proper support structures in place. Yeah, so although you won't feel it as much when you're young, if you constantly put your body in an uncomfortable position or in like incorrect position, eventually your body's going to adjust to that, and it's not going to be pretty. In fact, it's going to be painful. Trust me. So the earlier you get on this, the better. You're going to play longer, play better, and you're going to have a longer career if that's what you want. So the ideal poker setup would be one where your back is supported, your arms, your mouse hand's kind of at rest. You don't want it like up here, because that's creating tension up here. And you don't want it too far down because, well, there's just a disconnect there. But you want it, you know, about there. So try to find a desk or a table that gives you, you know, that height where your arm's kind of resting comfortably. No tension too high, no tension too low. Same, your neck. You don't want to be strained forward, which is what happens when you're playing on a laptop, and you don't want to have to do too much side to side or too much up and down, because, you know, doing that for 6 to 8 hours, it's going to put some strain on there. So you want your monitor to be kind of at eye level so that you don't have to adjust. This can be achieved by stacking books underneath your computer, buying a stand, finding some sort of blocks or something. It's really easy to do if you're willing to put in the time, and it will pay off, because when you play these 8 to 12 hour sessions, you're not going to feel tight in your neck anymore. You're not going to feel sore in your back anymore. You're not going to feel tight in your legs anymore, because you were practicing good posture. So you can play long sessions, get up, and everything's kind of all good. Now, I get a lot of questions from viewers saying, all right, you know, I'm starting out my poker career, I want to be the best I can be, so should I invest in Poker Tracker? Which one? Poker Tracker or Hold'em Manager? Should I invest in training sites other than Grip's poker training videos, which are free? To be honest, if I were starting my career all over again, the first thing that I would invest in is a good chair, a proper desk, and the right monitors, such that my body is not going to be put under the minimal amount of tension and strain while I play, so that I am functioning at like an optimal capacity. Just think about it. The better your posture is, the better your setup is, such that you can be relaxed and comfortable, the better you're going to play. It's just a fact. Because like, if you're in pain for any reason, or you're tight, or you're tense, or whatever when you're playing, you're not going to play your best. Whereas if you're comfortable and feeling good and relaxed, you're going to play great. I think if you're watching this video, you can probably think of some time in your life where you did something really well, and you were probably at ease, just kind of relaxed, just in the flow state, as opposed to a time where you didn't perform that well because you were tensing up, you were a little tight, you were thinking a little bit too much. So the first thing I would invest in, if you can, is a good poker setup, good desk chair, good desk, good monitor, good times. And that's pretty much what I have to say on the issue. Like, I'll delve into this some more, but it's just, I was recording the video for the Sunday Million, and I was doing it on my laptop on my bed here, and I was all hunched over doing it. Afterwards, I'm like, I can't do this for like 2 hours because it's just too uncomfortable of a position. So the more, optimal your position can be, the more natural kind of like fighter stance you can be, the better you're going to play. It's a fact. And if you don't believe me, try it out. See what happens. The last thing I wanted to touch on, since, the question is going to be, all right, if I'm going to get a chair, do I want one with back support? Do I want one that's adjustable? Basically, this part right here, your core, and here is the most important thing when you're playing, because you gotta sit. You gotta sit for an extended period of time, and so this whole trunk area is going to be under the most pressure. That's the area that's getting compressed. So if you have good support muscles here in the deep core, which we'll talk about in later videos, it's not the abs, it's actually deeper down the core, you're going to find that it's easy to get good posture. If you don't have good core strength, then you are going to want to find a chair that supports those areas. So you're going to want to find a chair that has good back support. It has a little bit of give, but it's fairly firm. You don't want to be leaning back too much. You just want to be sitting and supported so that your back is nice and straight. And eventually you can train those muscles such that you could play with a chair with no back, but start with something that has some good support, and the more support you have, the better you will find you feel while you play. So try it out. Play a session on a proper computer chair, play a session sitting on a couch, and then try to play a session where you just sit kind of like on a bench or a stool where there's no back support, and see how long you can last. You'll probably find within 5 or 10 minutes that you just can't hack it anymore because it's too much strain on the trunk area. And that is kind of what's happening at a slower rate when you're playing in a computer chair. Although you do have that back support, slowly but surely your body's feeling more and more strain from sitting in that position and not being fully supported, and eventually it breaks down, and that is another source of why we go on tilt, because the body's like, dude, I'm tired of being in this bullshit position, get me out of here, I'm done. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. I've played a couple sessions and realized the importance of having a proper setup, because, man, we want to be being the best poker players that we can be, and this is a factor that's very overlooked. You can study all the charts you want, you can watch all the videos you want, you can do all the math you want, but when it comes time to perform, your body isn't up for the challenge. Doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, you are going to slip up and make rush decisions. All right. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned something, please hit me up with a like and let me know I'm doing something right. Apologize for the lighting. Again, I don't have my proper recording set up here in Australia, but I hope that the information overcomes the lack of production value, and I hope you can still see me. Anyway, this has been Evan for Grips.com. Take what you learned, go out there and get stacking. Peace out. See you again soon.